What were the African women doing during the time of the ancient era? Well, they were leaders, stateswomen, commanders, dictators, and some of the most powerful queens. At the same time, in the West, women and queens were limited to their homes, upholding conservative beliefs and totally distanced from politics. What if we say that the policies and strategies that even the most powerful countries like the US are following were first given by African queens? They were feared, respected, and honored for their glory, becoming figures that changed not only Africa's, but the world's history. But what were those African queens? And what did they do that made them the most powerful during a time when battles and wars were the norm? Welcome to a new episode of Black Afric Diary, a channel where we talk about Black African history, culture, arts, and civilization. It's a place where you will see the real picture of Black Africa, its stories and the events defining it. In this episode, we will tell you about the most powerful African queens who changed world history forever. Let's get started. First, we have Queen Ranavalona Wars. In 1828, Ranavalona I rose to power as the serene ruler of the Kingdom of Madagascar, beginning a reign that lasted 33 years. Her journey to the throne began when she became queen following the demise of her young husband and second cousin, Radama I. Throughout her rule, Queen Ranavalona I adopted a policy of isolationism and self-sufficiency, the same policies that the US followed before the First World War. Actively diminishing economic and political ties with European powers, she successfully defended against a French attack on the coastal town of Farpoint in 1832. On August 16, 1861, the Queen peacefully passed away in her sleep. While traditionally portrayed as a harsh tyrant, modern historians perceive Ranavalona I as a smart politician who adeptly safeguarded the political and cultural sovereignty of her nation from European influence. The significance of her name, meaning foremost of noble women, is particularly emphasized in this context. Then comes Hatshepsut, a female pharaoh. She reigned between 1473 and 1458 BC in Egypt, and ushered in a period of relative peace during her rule. Overseeing an ambitious building program, she directed the construction of a grand temple at Luxor. Hatshepsut also orchestrated a successful sea voyage to the land of Punt on the northeast coast of Africa, which is present-day Eritrea and Ethiopia. Her ascent to the throne as a woman was highly uncommon, initially serving as a regent before assuming the role of a pharaoh. Despite her achievements, after her death in 1457 BC, Hatshepsut's monuments were vandalized, statues destroyed, and her memory dishonored. Then comes Queen Amina of the Zaria state. Born around 1533, hailed from a wealthy family in Zaria, a major city in present-day Kaduna State, northern Nigeria. Her family's prosperity, derived from trading in imported metals, kola, cloth, salts, and horses, afforded Amina the opportunity to hone her military skills with the Zazao cavalry. As a young woman, her prowess and aristocratic background propelled her to leadership within the Zazao cavalry, accumulating great wealth and military honors. Upon assuming the throne of Zazao, Amina had evolved into a formidable warrior, earning the respect of the kingdom's military. In Amina's time, there wasn't a perceived threat among men when women held positions of authority. Among the Hausa people, it was widely believed that individuals of any gender could assume roles of power. Interestingly, women even had the capability to replace ineffective men in their positions. As Queen, Amina ruled over Zazao, strategically situated at the crossroads of three major trade corridors in northern Africa, connecting the Sahara with the internal markets in the southern forested regions. The fall of Shanghai and the subsequent competition for control over trade routes among powerful kingdoms fueled ongoing conflicts among the Hausa people and their neighbors during the 15th and 16th centuries. In the pursuit of power and prominence among the Hausa states, Zaria, under Queen Amina's leadership, momentarily achieved dominance. Amina launched her first military campaign shortly after ascending the Zazao throne. Throughout her remarkable 34-year reign, she consistently engaged in warfare, expanding her kingdom to its historical zenith and commanding an army of 20,000 men. Amina's military campaigns reached various cities, stretching as far as Nupi, conquering Kanu and Katsina. The expansion of Amina's kingdom brought prosperity to Zaria, introducing unprecedented wealth through the acquisition of gold, slaves, and advancements in agriculture. Amina enhanced Zazzau's wealth and power by introducing metal armaments, including iron helmets and chainmail, to her cavalry for added protection. Amina erected numerous fortifications around the conquered cities, many of which still stand today. Then comes Queen Ahebi Ugabe. Born in the mid-1920s, Ahebi Ugabe started as a prostitute, but later became the sole female king in colonial Nigeria. Born around 1880 in Indongwaziki, present-day eastern Nigeria, she journeyed to Igala land at the age of 13 in search of employment. Unable to find work, she turned to autonomous sex work, using it to her advantage by learning diverse languages, including Igala, Nupi, and Pidgin English. With her earnings, Ahebi ventured into business, engaging in palm oil and horse trading, becoming one of the most influential horse traders along the Gala-Ibalan borders. Around 1918, Ahebi returned home as a polyglot, providing her with a significant advantage in leading the united people of Igala and acting as the only communicator with a British colonialist. Upon her return, Ahebi displaced Ogwokego, the man the British had appointed as a village headman, a ceremonial role in the colonial system. Before we continue further, tell us, are you enjoying the video? If yes, please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos on Black Africa. Let's continue now. Despite facing resistance from male chiefs due to her gender, Ahebi's appointment as a warrant chief, the only woman in colonial Nigeria to hold such a position, further distanced them from state affairs. To consolidate her power, Ahebi traveled to Igala for her coronation, where she was crowned by the Ata of the Gala amid widespread celebrations. The idea of a woman being a king wasn't foreign to the Gala people, as they had experienced a woman as king around the 1500s. However, as her rule unfolded, Ahebi adopted an autocratic approach, causing many to become weary of her leadership. Criticisms emerged regarding her actions, which were deemed heretical, including a refusal to consult with chiefs, acceptance of bribes, and coercive taking of other men's wives. Despite a decline in respect compared to the earlier years of her reign, Ahebi retained her title as king until her passing in 1948. Fearing that her people might not grant her a proper burial, she conducted her own funeral rites in 1946, 2 years before her demise. Then we have Queen Nzinga of Angola. She stands as one of Africa's revered female rulers who resisted European colonialization. Leading the war against the Portuguese in Angola for 4 decades from the 1620s to the 1660s, Nzinga displayed unmatched negotiating and military strategizing skills. She significantly reduced the Portuguese colony in Luanda, present-day Angola, to a few square miles. Nzinga pursued 3 main policy objectives: ending the conflict between the Portuguese and her people, gaining diplomatic recognition like Congo, and establishing a mutually beneficial trading relationship with Luanda and Europeans. In the 1630s and 1640s, she forged an alliance with Dutch slave traders, using her wealth to solidify her position. Overcoming traditional resistance to women in politics, Nzinga employed runaway slaves and others as mercenaries when necessary. After continuous warfare against the Portuguese, she concluded a treaty that largely achieved her initial goals, maintaining successful policies until her death. Nzinga dominated Kimbundu politics for 40 years, leaving a conflicting yet monumental legacy. She inspired her people to resist Europeans, showcasing exceptional energy as a warrior and anti-colonialist, an exemplary representation of African women's dedication to self-reliance and survival values. Then we have the Queen of Sheba. In 960 BC, the nation now known as Ethiopia took center stage in history, represented by a queen often referred to as Makeba, or more commonly, the Queen of Sheba. Legend has it that Makeba, also known as Makeda, was Sheba's mysterious and majestic queen and the beloved of King Solomon of Judea. In the Old Testament of the Holy Bible, she is depicted as a chaste and unnamed queen from the land of Sheba. Captivated by King Solomon's wisdom, she journeyed to Israel with gifts of spices, gold, precious stones, and beautiful wood, testing him with challenging questions. Impressed by Solomon's wisdom and wealth, she blessed his deity, and Solomon reciprocated with gifts and everything she desired. Upon returning to her country, Makeba was evidently wealthy, bringing 4.5 tons of gold as a symbol of great power and wealth. Described as a beautiful and powerful black woman, she converted to Judaism out of love and she and Solomon reportedly had a son, who later became the first emperor of Ethiopia, establishing its Solomonic dynasty. Then comes Queen Yargoji of Zamfara. During the reign of Yargoji of Zamfara in northwest Nigeria, from 1310 to 1350 for 40 years, significant changes occurred in Zamfara. She expanded and moved the kingdom's capital from Dutse to a more strategically defensible area at Korean Banner. Yargoji, the first daughter of Dhaka, the fifth king of Zamfara, wasn't just a queen. She also led the brewery court, a pre-Islamic mode of worship in parts of Hausa land. During her rule, female chiefs were appointed for the first time in the kingdom, and she surrounded herself with these female chiefs, a practice not known before her time. Interestingly, her reign was lengthy and peaceful, marking a prosperous era. Then we have Queen Idia. She was the one who helped her son, Esseji, the Oba of Benin, ascend to power. He ruled from 1504 to 1550 in present-day southern Nigeria. However, the real power behind him was his mother, Queen Idia. Regarded as a formidable warrior, she fought tirelessly before and during her son's rule. When Abba Ozolua passed away, leaving two powerful sons competing for the throne, Idia mobilized an army that defeated her son's rival, securing Esseji's position as the 16th king of the Benin Kingdom. For these triumphs, Idia earned credit and the distinction of becoming the first queen mother of Benin, bestowed with the title Iyoba by Esseji. Then comes the powerful figure of Queen Nandi. She was the mother of the renowned Zulu king Shaka, and faced humiliation and rejection when Shaka was born out of wedlock in 1787. Despite enduring mockery from women and singers, Nandi instilled virtuous values in her son, shaping him into one of Africa's preeminent leaders. Throughout Shaka's rule, Nandi wielded considerable influence over the kingdom's affairs, especially during military campaigns. Her sagacity played a crucial role in tempering Shaka's actions, advocating for political compromises and discouraging violence. Nandi's enduring impact extends beyond her role as Shaka's mother, and her passing in 1827 was deeply mourned by her son and the Zulu people. Did you know about these African queens and their services toward their kingdoms? Isn't it true that they were more powerful and bolder than the Western queens of that time? In the comment section right below, let us know your thoughts on why we are not taught about these African queens who were pioneers of policies, strategies, and tactics. Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon next to it. We bring videos on Black Africa, its history, rich arts and culture, and things the world should know about. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, stay tuned.